Nissan Altima. 4 reasons to love it, 2 reasons to think twice. The Nissan Altima has been in production since 1992, so the automaker has had plenty of time to perfect the formula. What pros and cons persist with the 2025 model? When not busy playing second fiddle to the upmarket Nissan Maxima or flexing its superiority over the far more basic Nissan Sentra. The Nissan Altima serves as normal transportation for literally thousands of drivers. In fact, Nissan moved over 113,000 of these things last year. We got to drive one around for a week. And while these are preliminary findings, we're pleased to say that there's a lot to love. But nobody's perfect. Reason to love it. Number 1. Refreshing simplicity. Driving the 2025 Nissan Altima is a straightforward experience, with no driving modes, a clean, uncluttered gauge cluster, and no intrusive driver aids. While this example has blind spot monitoring, it's hardly something that gets in the way. There's no hybrid technology, nor is there any automatic start-stop nonsense going on. I wasn't sure the Altima needed a steering wheel this good. Driving the car convinced me. While there are plenty of buyers who may see some of these as downsides, I think it's extremely refreshing to see a car that seems designed to do one thing: drive. Little extra tech that Nissan adds to the Altima is stuff almost every driver will find beneficial, including parking sensors, automatic headlights, and forward collision warning. Reason to love it. Number 2. Little touches that go a long way. Driving a 2025 Nissan Altima SR, which gets quite a few upgrades over the standard car that go a long way in sprucing up the cabin. The thick, leather-wrapped steering wheel and leather-wrapped gearshift lever feel excellent. The red stitching in the seats, which are more than adequately bolstered. The center console are the first intimations that you might actually be driving a sports sedan rather than an econobox. Even the paddle shifters look and feel good, even if using them is purely theatrical. The same goes for a surprisingly aesthetically pleasing rear spoiler on the trunk lid. The little touches make a difference, especially in this segment. And the Altima benefits greatly from each and every one. Reason to love it. Number 3. Surprisingly good at speed handling. All Altima SRs come with 19-inch wheels and Nissan's sport-tuned suspension. Our Altima wears bronze-painted premium alloys that cost an additional $670 but look right at home on the car. It drives shockingly well at highway speeds, with steering that's weighty but not artificial and even precise once you've got it loaded up. The brake feel, too, is remarkably natural, making it predictable and easy to modulate. Reason to love it. Number 4. Cool and comfortable seats. I already mentioned the seats briefly, but they're worth revisiting. Nissan says that the Altima benefits from their zero-gravity seat design, which apparently reduces fatigue on long drives. My longest drive was a little over an hour, and these seats, with their red stitching, cool cloth inserts, and just right bolstering, kept their promise. Between them and the cars at speed handling, Nissan has me seriously re-evaluating my relationship with the BMW 3 Series. Reason to think twice. Number 1. No more turbo and generally lackluster performance. We're a year too late to drive this car with 60 more horsepower, which would have been quite a welcome addition. The SRVC Turbo left the lineup this year, leaving us with the sole engine offering we have here today, a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder making either 182 horsepower in AWD configuration or 188 horsepower in FWD. That's not a lot, and disappointing for a vehicle that is otherwise doing a convincing impersonation of a sports sedan. Reason to think twice. Number 2. It's a little anonymous. Even with bronze 19-inch wheels, the Nissan Altima isn't exactly standing out from the crowd. I made the mistake of parking next to a similarly colored Kia in my parking garage and still haven't found my way back to the correct car. There is something positive to be said for the car's understated and unfussy looks, albeit it probably isn't pulling at your heartstrings with every glance. Final thoughts. The Nissan Altima isn't necessarily luxurious or interesting to look at, but there's a lot more going on here than an initial glance may indicate. Far from a wolf in sheep's clothing, mind you, but it's got some solid selling points that make it a more than competent competitor in the mid-size sedan segment.